So, Linkin Park are back. They're back with a brand new lineup, a new drummer, and most importantly, a new singer in Emily Armstrong to replace the late, great Chester Bennington. Now, I say replace, she's not there to replace. We'll get into this later, but she's not there to replace Chester. No one can replace Chester. But they put out their first live performance as a band yesterday, live on YouTube, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to talk about all the sort of questions that are floating around social media at the moment. Is she any good? Should they be replacing Chester? All these sorts of things. We're going to talk about that now. Now, first of all, I want to state that I'm not like the biggest Linkin Park mega fan. I've got an incredible amount of respect for their first two albums. I think they will go down in history as classic metal albums. He thinks Linkin Park are metal. They're not metal. They are metal. They're metal. No, they're not metal. Okay, so what? Is it just the two genres of metal that you particularly like, that you class as metal? There's no other subgenres of metal. Yeah, it's just the metal music that I like that's they're metal. They're metal. They're classic new metal albums. They're on the end of the new metal era, aren't they? The early 2000s. But they are classic new metal albums, those first two albums. I've got a lot of respect for them, and I've got a lot of respect for the band in general. They helped influence so many bands, whether you like Linkin Park or not. Their influence is phenomenal. I'm thinking specifically some of the British bands that came out in 2010s, Bring Me the Horizon, Architects, While She Sleeps. You can see direct influences from Linkin Park. Ollie Sykes himself from Bring Me the Horizon said that he used to sit in his bedroom and try and practice all of Chester's screams in Hybrid Theory. He's an obvious influence, and they've influenced an incredible amount of bands, and specifically Chester's vocal style. I think he was one of the first people to do almost like singing, screaming. When screaming and growly vocals first started coming into metal, you think of the early days of death metal and black metal, and then it sort of got introduced into new metal. But I think Chester was the first one to develop this style of singing while screaming. When you think of those new metal bands, Korn, Slipknot, even Limp Bizkit, when they growled, when they shouted, it was to emphasize that heavy section of the song. But I think Chester was the first one to scream in a melodic style, and it was a style of singing where he'd have melodic choruses that were screamed. So, and like I said, the bands that I just quoted, Architects, While She Sleeps, Bring Me the Horizon, even some of your more modern bands like Spirit Box and things like that, have definitely taken direct influence from Chester with that singing style of screaming. So his influence on the genre is untold. What do I think of the live performance? So Emily Armstrong, the new singer, from a band called Dead Sarah. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. But I thought she'd done very well in the live performance, and the pressure that must be on this girl's shoulders is absolutely immense. I've got to congratulate Linkin Park for actually choosing a female vocalist. I think that's a very smart move, because straight from the bat, you're basically saying, look, we're not here to try and replace Chester. We're doing something a little bit different. And I think if they'd had a male vocalist to replace Chester, the pressure would be even more on this particular person that they showed. They'd be under pressure to try and just recreate Chester's voice and not do something themselves. So I think by having a female singer, you avoid that. And I think it's a great move from Linkin Park to do that. I thought she sounded great in the live performance. There were mistakes, there were times when she went off key, but this is her first live performance with the band. I mean, she's going to grow, she's going to get better. I mean, any band that you talk to, if you talk to them about their first show of a world tour compared to their last show, they'd always say their first one is probably, don't come and see us, basically. Don't come and see us on the first night of the tour. See us on the last, because that's when it's polished, that's when it's great and fantastic. So I think she's done well, and I'm looking forward to. I kind of get the feeling that Linkin Park may be at Download Festival next year, that I've already got my tickets for, regardless of the lineup. I like to go every other year to a festival, and I didn't go this year, so I think they'll be there, and I think I'll really enjoy them. If they play a lot of tracks off the first two albums, like I say, I think a lot of people in my era sort of tailed off of Linkin Park after their first two albums. I think a lot of younger audience enjoy their newer stuff, and fair play to you. If you're there and you're enjoying it, great, fantastic. But for me, it's really only the first two albums. And we'll see what is to come. There's new music to come as well. There's a new album on the horizon, so we'll see. So what's your thoughts, guys? Did you watch the performance? Did you enjoy? Do you think it's a good idea? I think overall, the thing that I'll end the video with, and I'll say, there is absolutely no question that Chester would want the band to carry on. He would not want his friends to not make music, to not perform live, and he'd be absolutely stoked by this. That's the most important thing. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, click a like. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top. There'll be another video. You can check that out as well. Till next time, enjoy this rain, man. It's been raining the last 5 days. It sucks.